What's up, guys? Scrub King here. So back again with another Salamangreat deck profile. I know I'm definitely gonna make other deck profiles, but just real quick. So over the weekend, I went out with my boy Sean and Corey. Shout out to Teamlit to the UDS Qualifier, and then I ended up getting first place. So surprisingly, ended up winning the whole thing. So I wanted to share you guys the deck profile a little bit, talk to you guys about what a UDS Qualifier is. And show you guys my matchups, side deck, and whatnot. So real quick, let's just get into the deck profile. So it's gonna be very similar to what you guys saw in the past videos. So nothing too crazy, no new surprise. So real quick, just in the salad portion. So one Gazelle. So of course, the one of I would say like maybe the third, maybe the second best card in the deck. Really good. Beautiful card, especially when you see it. So one Gazelle, one Falco. So Falco is great. Of course, you're making dweller plays, returning cards from your field back to your hand, returning if you're low on resources, returning your extra deck monsters. So it's pretty cool. Falco is awesome. Best card, one of the best cards right now in the meta, dweller. So this helps you get to it. Important thing to know, and I mentioned in the last deck profile, do not play foul. I mean, it's okay if you play. I just personally don't play it. I used to tech it once in a while, but I just don't think it's necessary. So Falco does the job. And every time I saw a foul, it was always like bad timing. So I just ended up taking him out for other cards, and ended up working out for me. So of course, 3 Foxy. So Foxy, it's amazing. It can take care of. There can only be one. Take care of Babel for a little bit if they don't protect it with Dingirsu. And it's just good. It takes care of other good field spells. A lot of different good field spells. The True Draco's field spell, which I forgot the name off the top of my head, takes care of that one. It's just good. Fox is amazing. I used the normal summon effect I think once, but you really don't like to use that. It's also level 3, so of course. And of course, 3 Spinny. Spinny is the card. It's just so amazing being able to discard and act, triggering your Gazelle in hand, and extending out through that special summon itself. And sometimes, the good thing about this is like, if you have both of these engraved and you have a good discard, Salamangreat discard, they got to pick which one they're gonna crow, which one they're gonna call by. So it's good to have both of these engraved. So it ends up working out a little bit easier that way. And then 2 Jack Jaguars, of course. So this is I took out the foul for the second Jack Jaguar, and I definitely enjoy it. So as I was mentioning, Call by the Grave is a card, and the Striker spell card that banishes is definitely a card as well. So definitely play 2. I also play a card that kind of banishes your main deck. You'll see, and it is pretty crucial to play more than one, especially in these days. So 2 is pretty good. I ended up had my opponent ended up banishing one of them, and he thought I didn't play the second one. So ended up saving my butt there for a little bit. So those are the core Salamangreat monsters. And just to go straight down into the hand trap. So Ash, of course, best hand trap right now in the game, essentially. It being a fire is extremely broken and solid. You can just keep recurring it. I really do not enjoy playing a lot of hand traps, so I try to play as minimum as possible. So Ash definitely makes the cut. 2 Fantasy Boys. I want to test out not playing this, so because it was so throughout the tournament this weekend. But when I did summon it, it did get me into some key cards that I needed for the following turn, so it ended up being good. It just conflicts a little bit with impermanence, but I want to try out maybe main decking some other hand traps or some other cards. But Phantasme is a card that's amazing when it goes off, but I would say it's definitely not needed. So if you're looking for like a more budget version, you're totally fine not playing Phantasme. And totally fine playing the common Ash. No difference between common Ash and the super Ash, trust me, or the secret Ash. And then the card I was speaking about is 3 Imperm. This card is amazing. I love Imperm. Not the biggest fan of Veiler. And then the new hand trap coming out, that when a monster special summoned, you could like target it or whatever and negates the effect. Not a big fan of Veiler, so I'm a bigger fan of Impermanence. It's just I'm a control player at heart, sub-tier player at heart, so I love my traps a little bit, not gonna lie. but Imperm gets the job. The only thing, it does conflict with Phantasme at times, but whatever. The other reason why I kind of wouldn't play Phantasme is, Draco is a deck, Subterror is a deck, and Alter Guys sometimes they do go into their Hextia, but sometimes they hold it. So this card really does become a dead card in those type of control matches, which are pretty getting popular now. So I actually played against Draco. I'll talk about my matchups later, but I played against Draco and this card was just dead the entire time. So sad face. So those are the hand traps. So now I'm just gonna go into a little bit of the support. So the one of Lay Debug, I mentioned it. I think every time I do a Salamangreat deck profile, I mention that I hate this card. Like, I'm not a fan of Lay Debug, but damn it, we gotta play it now. Like, there's nothing we can do. It's definitely like it's actually saved me a match, so I must admit. But I was never a big fan of Debug ever. I actually did not play Debug at all until very recently. So yeah, that being said, and 3 Buffalo or Buffalero, as I like to call it. This card is amazing. I really hope Konami does not limit this card. I feel like they are. Getting a little worried. Check out my balance prediction video. I talk about this card. Yeah, this card's amazing. When you open this and a Salad in hand or a Cyberse in hand, that's just amazing. Getting all those pluses, getting your field. So it's beautiful. Channeling 1 Buffalo, channeling 2 Bale Links, and then of course there's 2 Sea Arc. So nothing kind of new here in the deck profile so far. So longest time I was playing one of these, and I was still on the Crusadia. I forgot the name, but the Crusadia level 1 that special summons to a link point and you could pop a card. I do miss a Crusadia a little bit, especially with their only be 1, but this card is just too good. Especially if you normal summon Buffalo, link it away with Bale Links, chain link 1 Buffalo, chain link 2 Bale Links, get the field spell, and then 1 Buffalo is resolving, you discard Sea Archiver, and then if you draw 2 and do some linking away, reincarnate Bale Links and special summon Gazelle to a link point, this automatically special summons itself, and that way you can mill like a trap card with Gazelle, which is my preference. So this card is good. It's a good discard because it activates Engrave as well. So that's what makes it a little bit better than the Crusadia, I must admit. So now going to the spells. So best card in the deck, Sanctuary. This is definitely the card you do not want to banish off Desires. I mean, this card is amazing. I did banish it quite a few times off Desires, so sad face for that. But this is definitely the best card in your deck. It really, in the long term, it really saves your ass. So 1 Sanctuary, of course. 1 Circle, because we have to. Konami loves to punish us. I actually saw this card quite frequently, so I guess I got a little lucky. But 1 Circle, get the Rhoda. The effect to protect it from monster effects, protect your reincarnated link monster, never came up. So this is literally just the Rhoda. And Mining, so more of the Rhodas. The discard is not an issue in this deck because you love discarding, you love filling up your graveyard. Only very rarely. There's actually 1 game that actually only had Mining. I was top decking, so I only had Mining in hand. It was I forgot who else I was playing against, but it was actually a pretty close one. So it was the only time that I was like, ugh. But overall, this card's amazing. So Cyanide Mining. As I mentioned, Phantasme, you don't have to play it if you're looking for more budget. But Mining, you definitely have to, especially if they hit Circle. So Konami, get this back. Bring a Circle back. The interaction with discarding Salamangreat and searching Gazelle and special summoning Gazelle is just beautiful. So Mining 3. I main deck 2 Mind Control. This card was amazing all weekend. I definitely appreciate main decking it because I lose die rolls like crazy. So main decking 2, being able to link it away either to a Hida, or if you're playing the mirror match, which I did not play the mirror match this weekend. If you're playing a mirror match, this card is busted. So Mind Control. Back rolls are a thing. So Cosmic taking care of either the Crescendo, Babel, Roar, like all these things. This card is amazing. So I'm a big fan of it. Tried it out a couple times, depending on the matchup, but overall, when I saw it, it was enjoyable. I remember one duel, I think it was against Darren Stryker, that normal summon a Cyberse. he activated there could only be one, so I won't link it away in the bail links, and I had this card, so it saved my ass. So this card was very crucial this weekend, especially against this striker. So here we're going down to the tools. So I mentioned the last deck profile, I love tools. So tools, here we go. Desires. I don't play 3. When I played 3, I kept Desires into Desires, and I kept seeing Desires when I didn't really want to see it. So the 2 of it's fine. I think not once, knock on wood, not once have I drawn Desires into Desires on this ratio. So I like to keep that going. So 2 Desires, 2 Will. Definitely think I actually played 3 for quite some time. For a little bit, and then maybe 7 months ago I was at 2. So I've always played Will. Will's always been a good card. I never really understood why people didn't use him. There was a time period no one played Will. I was like, oh guys, get it together. But you basically have to play it now with Nibiru being a card. I understand people still not playing Will. Totally understandable. You could use other cards like maybe trap cards or other good extenders. I personally enjoy Will. If you have the Will on field and you have this one in your hand, it's not really a dead card because you discard this with Foxy and keep plays going. So it's not too bad. And obviously with Desires, you like to play 2. So 2 Will. And the traps, besides, impermanence, 2 Roar, Rage is pretty standard. Some people play 2 Rages versus 1 Roar. Thing is, Thunder is a deck, so Rage doesn't do anything against them, so you try to avoid it. That's why I play the 2 Roar. And I like to be a little bit selfish with my roars, so reincarnate with, let's say, Heat Leo, activate the Roar and Grave to set itself, and then when I use it, it gets banished, but I know I already have the second Roar, so it kind of saves my ass a little bit. Saves my selfish plays. So, let me go into the extra deck real quick. Balinks, so 3 Balinks, standard. 3 Sun, standard. 2 Heat, standard. I play 2 Stalio. Like I mentioned, Call by the Grave and the Striker spell card is definitely around, especially with Striker Orcus. So if they really banish your Stalio, you're gonna have a bad time. On top of that, I also not the best resource managing. I'll admit. I'm not the worst, but I can get a little bit selfish in my plays. So I like to have that second Stalio there. I do not play the update jammer stuff. The Hita Dweller, this card is probably gonna get banned. This card is so good. Phoenix, and then of course last time I did deck profile, I was playing the Pyro Phoenix just for giggles. But I mentioned that if you go to a tournament, you definitely want to play the Avermax and the Apollo. I know a lot of people are playing Borload and the Apollo, but Avermax basically won me my last match because my opponent summoned Avermax. And I ended up summoning Avermax, even though I didn't know a ruling where I had to activate his effects first when I attacked. But either way, Avermax ended up saving me. So this is definitely the way to go if you're gonna go to a regional or something like that. The Pyro Phoenix, very happy that I played that card because it would have got me nowhere this weekend. So very satisfied with playing these two. So I think that's the only big difference with the builds from the last deck profile. So real quick into the side, Nibiru token. So 2 Nibirus. This card was very lackluster, I would say. I sided it in, I think very few times. I think maybe twice. Never saw it. Never really depended on it, to be honest with you. I was never at a point where I was like, I need to see my Nibiru. Yeah, this card is okay. I saw a sad player main decking it over the weekend, and he said it actually worked pretty well for his deck. So it can kind of go both. It just depends, if you see it, you see it. If you don't, I just didn't see it, so I can't really talk about it much because I never use it. So here we go, 3 Twins. I want to get these in Ultimates. If you guys have Ultimates, hit me up. Twins was amazing, of course, going against Draco and Striker. I play 3 Prank. Or Pankertrops. So this card was pretty good, actually. I was actually at a point where I was at, my opponent had Derek only be 1, but he didn't have monsters on field, so what ended up happening was I kept setting my salads in face on defense, and then I think I had a Gazelle face up and attacking. I was just keep poking. It's against a Draco player, and then I ended up just tributing, like tribute summoning the Pancake Drops for game. It was that slow of a game, so it was that tough. It was actually one of the best matches I had over the weekend. So Pancake Drops, it came in clutch a little bit. Besides that, it's still a good card against any rogue deck that's just doing shenanigans. Lancia was the MVP of the side, I would say. This card is amazing. I mean, blowout against Orcus, shut down Thunder players whenever I saw it. Lancia is just a really good card. And I was very fortunate I kept seeing it. so that's one thing. Like, I saw Lancia, so that's a good thing. Siding the third Mind Control. Like I said, I love this card, especially in the mirror. And then 3 evenly for those decks that I like to do the most, especially against the IP board. This card is very nice against that board. So real quick, just talk about, I guess, the UDS qualifier. So when you make top 8, you get like this cool little lanyard here that says, hey, qualifier and whatnot. They have like different pictures. This is my second time getting top 8. The other one had like Bakura. This one has like Jaden and Yubel. And you get like this little pin that says like top cut, whatever. And then the winner of the whole thing gets this winner pin, whatever. This one has Neos on it. UDS is pretty cool. Ultimate Duel Series. Basically the winner of, so this is just for a qualifier to qualify into a tournament. Like you have to be like 100 points or something like that, 100 UDS points. I think I'm basically almost there. But that allows you to go into the actual UDS tournament. And then the UDS is like crazy. Like if you win the UDS, you're like, you get this cool belt, you know, you get to like get free regionals for like life, and like pay you. It's like you get 2-round buys at like YCS or something. It's like crazy to win a UDS. So whoever's out there and you're watching this and you won a UDS, shout out to you because you're a beast. I just won the UDS qualifier, so maybe I'll get there eventually. So that's pretty crazy. So let me talk about the matchups a little bit. So see if you can see this a little bit. It might be a little too bright. Yeah, there it is. So round 1, Orcus, very good Orcus player. Game 1, he kind of destroyed me. And then game 2 and 3, I came back a little bit. Round 2, Thunder player was main decking Nibiru. Summoning Nibiru, game 1. And I had to pass because I had nothing else. Pretty much OTK'd me after that. Game 2, had Nibiru in hand. I was literally like about to come back, about to like stally away his Thunder, his Colossus, about to do some other shenanigans, and he Nibiru me right as I was starting to get the momentum. He saw it coming. He was like, yeah, I saw that coming. So I was like, all right. So he Nibiru me twice, and I got 2-0'd basically by Thunder. That was disgusting. Round 3, faced against another Thunder. That was a little bit different because he didn't see Nibiru. So things changed a little bit after that. Round 4 against Draco. Draco, this was actually like one of my best matchups. So I ended up losing 2-1, but it was so close. Game 3 was so back and forth. He ended up I think if I remember, he ended up like baiting out my negate, my roar. And then I ended up activating Card of Demise, and I was like, oops. So I ended up drawing 3, and after that, he had so much advantage. It was just crazy. Round 5, I was given the win. So at this point, I'm like X2. Yikes. And round 6, I basically had a win to get into top 8. So round 6 was against Scrap Orcus. Very cool matchup. The Scrap Orcus deck is like pretty interesting. Like you have to know like when to negate it, when to play around it. Really cool guy though. It's always a pleasure dueling him. And then I snuck into top 8 somehow. So top 8 was Thunder. Lancia basically saved me that one. He ended up telling me, it was like, if I didn't Lancia, he was going to destroy me. So yeah, Lancia saved me on that one. Top 4 went against Darren Striker. Darren's like the best striker player ever. I always look forward to our duels because they're really good. But we always duel each other like either like in top 4s or like in the finals of like locals or something. It's like it's always funny. But yeah, Darren, it was just really close back and forth. Game 1, I had the nuts. Game 2, he had the nuts. And game 3, it was just like back and forth. So I ended up taking that one. In the final, I met Jared's Dino. I think he was playing like Striker Dino. And he just kind of bricked ultimately. And I ended up just finding a way to win that one. So this was like the matchups, just showing you the meta a little bit. A lot of Orcus Thunder, of course. The Draco was Really good matchup. Striker, very tough matchup. So that's why I like to put in those evening matches in there. Try to take care of all those shenanigans. And yeah, it's kind of what it came down to. So just wanted to show you guys a little bit of what any changes. I didn't make any main deck changes from last time. But just put in the Apollo and the Abramax, and those kind of saved me the day. And talk to you guys, what the pins look like and whatnot. But hopefully I'm going to try to keep modifying the deck. Hopefully the deck doesn't get destroyed on ban list. Check out my ban list prediction video if you haven't seen it yet. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.